Today you need a lot of this one. Okay, so I am already taking my 8th cup. But why we need so much of coffee today? Today is a big day, and today we are literally open sourcing all of the SOC platforms for you guys. Yes, you heard it right. So starting from the SIM to the case management to the threat intelligence to the automation to the threat hunt, every steps will be open sourced, and I have covered every steps to decouple all of the platforms, all of the tools for you guys in this episode, and we are going to cover every step from the very starting. So I will be showing you how you can basically install all of the setup in your own SOC solution, and you don't need anything else. You just need to follow along with my tutorial, and at the end of the episode you will be having one up and running SOC setup, and I will be also showing how you can basically integrate the full architecture with one another. So at the end you will just push the alert from your SOC, you will get the ticket automatically created in the case management, and you have the solution at hand to run the observable, run the threat hunt, run the threat intelligence scan automated way from your case management solution. So what are you waiting for? Get your cup of coffee very quickly, and we are starting right now. Okay, so the first thing is that I want to show you guys what is the exact architecture that we are talking about today, and gradually once I show you the probable architecture, we will grow step by step to the process, and I will explain how basically this full functionality works. I will show you the full functionality first, how these components actually works together, and then the last step we will go through the installation step. So every installation steps has been dumped in my GitHub repository, so I'll leave the link in the description, so don't worry about it. So in this particular section, okay, so first the thing is that your alert will be thrown from Elastic. It will go to the case management solution, which is the Hive. Then it will be fetched of your, like, you can check out the observables, you can check out the threat intel and all those stuffs. Okay, into the actual setup, what actually I have built, and I want to show you what the things is going on practically and what are the benefits that you are getting. Okay, so as you see in front of your screen, so I have all of the consoles that is currently I am having. So first let me log in to the Elastic console. Simultaneously I will log into the MISP console, I will log into the Cortex, and I will log into our the Hive console here as well. Okay, so the Hive and the demo Hive, so and I will log in. Okay, so yeah, so while these stuffs are login, as you see, my Elastic is currently loading now. So you have observed like the events from SIM. I have told multiple times, and I have a previous video how to do and how to analyze the stuff in SIM. You can check out the video. So the Cortex is something new for you guys, right? And the Hive is also something new for you guys, right? So the first thing first, I want to give you a full description about the Hive project. So now by seeing at the tool, you can obviously understand that this is something like a case management solution. Okay, so you can create a new case over here. So let's see, if you want to create a, let's say, a dummy case over here. So let's say SOC case 1. So I have created a SOC case 2. That is something you can create the severity. Let's say you can create the high severity. These are something like TLP and PAP is required for your integration, and tag. So you can mention any of the tag. Okay, so let's say I'll just give it a test tag for this purpose. So now so if you give the description over here, so we will give as like again test kit, okay, something, but this particular thing will come up when basically you are working on a production environment and you have any something like actual data into present, right? But for this tutorial I am just going with the test data, and I am going to create a case. So you can create a task title, whatever, if you want to create some additional task or something like that. So I am going to create a case over here. Okay, so now you see SOC case 2 has been created now. So now you see you are getting option to select your observable. So what the hell is observable mean? So observable means you can like create something like IP address, your hashes, your IOCs. You if you have observed something, some information into your cases. So let's say you have one observable called IP address. Okay, so IP address, you can give it a value like 8.8.8. okay, so that is a Google IP address but anyway, we are testing it right over here. So you have seen this particular IOC. Yes, I have cited. So you have seen the IOC. okay, or you can write something like network IOC defined by your organization, whatever the tags you want to mention over here. And so you can mention over here observed in the incident. Okay, and incident as C2. okay, so you might have observed a C2 communication happening. Okay, so you can create the observable over here, and once that is done, you see this particular thing is an observable over here. So now let's see, you can create, by the way, like something like you can add an hash value, as I told you, right? You can add a host name, IP address, anything that doesn't matter, but you can add that particular sucker up over here. Okay, and once you go to this particular detail section, if you come to here, this section, this doesn't have any additional information, it doesn't have any task. Okay, now what exactly the task means. Okay, so basically what exactly the task means. So task means if you want to divide some other stuffs with your analyst, and let's say, hey, you want to do the forensics, you want to do the host forensics, you want to do the network forensics and all those stuff. So that option is also available over here. So now by creating the task, let's say you have a task group. So let's say it is a L2 group, and you want to do the log forensics. Okay, so once that is done, you can create that task by default. And since this is not assigned, so I have only one user, which is the Black Pearl demo user. So Black Pearl is the organization and demo is my user. So you can assign the task, and you can assign another task like create task, let's say malware analysis. Okay, so you can create this particular task. This is a group, and again you can mention like reverse engineering or something like that, and you can create some task like that, and you can assign to other people who might have been part of your organization as well. Okay, so this is the beauty of the tool, and you can see all of the things are getting captured over here. Now how this powerful like the Cortex can help you over here. Okay, so the Cortex is integrated with MISP, and as if I want to show you, if I go to this analyzer section, so you see I have MISP over here, and I have VirusTotal integrated over here. Okay, so I can search VirusTotal from Cortex, I can query MISP from Cortex, so I do not need to go anywhere. Okay, so the first thing what I want to show you, if I go to the Hive and if I go to the observable, so you see there is an observable. Okay, so I want to put some action, so there is no responder, but I don't need a responder. So if I go to this particular thing, you see these are values obviously available over here, right? So what the thing exactly, you can come here to this particular thing and you can create some analysis over here. Let's say you can read, okay, amber, and you can choose something like an IP address, and you can query MISP, and you can query like VirusTotal as well. Okay, so let us query something like that 8.8.8, and you can start the analysis. Okay, so now if you go to the job history, so you will see these are in progress. Okay, so that means what it will do in the back end, so it will pull the data for you. If there is anything suspicious going on, if VirusTotal has seen that particular IP address, and you have a lot of options. Okay, so not only limited to VirusTotal MISP, you have a lot of options available in front of you. So if you go to this organization section over here, let me quickly go to the organization. Okay, it is loading, it might take some time. Yeah, so if you go to the analyzer configuration and analyzer, you see there are abuse IPDB, abuse finder, any run sandbox, and all those stuffs. You just need to enable, and you need to have an API key. Okay, so I'll show you how you can integrate this MISP and VirusTotal, how I have done it. So you can check out that. But if I go to the jobs history section now, so what is exactly, so you see these are success. Okay, so now if we want to see the view the report, like, like, okay, so whatever the virus total, if virus total has given me any data or not, so we want to analyze that particular thing from there, right? Okay, so what also I have done, so I have added one IP address. So this is a malicious IP address that we have observed from like this log4j incident that is currently going on right now. The power of this utility, you see there are analyzer available. Okay, so what exactly the steps that we have done from the Cortex. So if you see these are the reports that we ran right now, right? So if you want to see the report, so you can see the summary of whatever the result that is coming out of the Cortex, which is querying by the way from the MISP, and you can see the exact result which is visible from the virus total here as well, right? But what exactly this thing, so you see this is the virus total report. Okay, so this IP address has been seen, virus total, and like 100 detected URLs and lot of stuffs are there. Okay, but if you want me that, hey, I do not want to run these jobs manually from Cortex console. Okay, so we have one observable in our Hive console. So what we did, we went manually to the Cortex console and we ran the searches from the Cortex to query the virus total and MISP. Okay, but we can also do like from this particular thing that, hey, this is one Hive thing, right? So this is one observable. So now what I want, so I want to search this particular IP address whether this has been cited anywhere in virus total or not. So you see these options are available over here. So what I want to do, I just put the action field over here and I will put this action on MISP as well. Okay, so I just want to see if I have any internal threat intel available over here or not. Okay, so it is running, and if you come here to this particular Cortex, if I just want to refresh this page, you will see those IP address and whatever we have pushed. Okay, so you see this particular thing are already pushed here. So I haven't created a new analysis from this Cortex console. Okay, so I have created the analysis from here, from this Hive central, our case management solution. Okay, so this thing has been done now, and as you see the virus total view, the report has been come over here. So now you can see this particular sucker has a lot of hits over here. Okay, so you can see the OSS owner, what is the IP address, and all those stuffs are coming over here. Okay, so you are getting all the details that you need from your central this case management solution, and you do not need to go anywhere. And now MISP doesn't have anything for this IP address, so that is fine. So probably the MISP is not updated with the current and I might not have enabled all of the threat feeds that I have done in the past episode. That is the reason the MISP might not have all of the things that is running and up, right? But the intention has been solved. Now I can query everything from this central case management solution from the Hive. Okay, so now one thing is also important that I want to show you. So here is the elastic particular thing, right? Now if I go to here in the discover tab, so these are the dummy data as I told you. So I have just ingested some dummy data into it, and these are getting ingested over here. But what exactly we can do from here, so if I go to the stack management and if I just want to show you, there is a rules and connector, so we can create the rules from the elastic to push the alert to automatically to the Hive. Okay, so let's test it out quickly. So I have a Hive connector over here. So if I want to run the test, so this is the test connector over here. So what exactly we can do over here, so let me quickly go to my repository. So I'll come one by one from here, but I just want to quickly show you what exactly this thing I am going to do over here. So if I come here, so okay, so I just want to push this particular sucker off from my connector and I want to test it. Okay, so what exactly I am trying to do over here, I am trying to push this section, so my auto case. Okay, so my auto demo case. Okay, so as you see, I do not have anything over here which is calling as like auto case. Okay, if I go to the Hive management, so you see I have only 4 cases. Okay, so now once I push this particular thing from here and I run this particular thing will push a ticket automatically to the Hive. Okay, now that is our intention, right? So we want to push the alerts in the terms of a ticket so that our SOC can investigate on the ticket and they can analyze what the hell is going on. Okay, so this is I'm going to push. If I do the run quickly over here, now you see test has been successful. So now if I go quickly to the Hive console here, so you see there has been a case created automatically, my auto demo case that I have just pushed from this particular thing, right? So if I now go to this particular area and if I do all the stops which is already available for me, right? So the intention is being successful now. So what we can do, we can leverage this particular connector option and we can like create something like some kind of rule, like whatever the logs that is available with us, we can create a rule and we can send the alert directly to our case management solution and we can take the analysis from there, right? So this is the full setup, guys. Now let's jump into the installation steps. I just want to show you how basically you can do this all installation, what are the prereqs, and how you can then you can go to the like integrating all of these tools one by one and how you can basically do that. Okay, so let's jump into that now. Okay, so this is my GitHub repository where I have pasted everything. So I have shown you the architecture diagram component used in this project. So now let's see the installation requirements. So what are the installation requirements that we need? Okay, so we have gone through and we have done this 4 VM setup. You can set up these 4 VMs anyway to anything like in your cloud, in your EKS, in your GKS, anything. But to ease the process, we have set up this thing on EC2 instance on AWS. And for MISP, that is running on Ubuntu 20, which is 3.3 micro. Elastic SIEM is running on T2 medium, and all those stuffs are running on medium SIEMs as well. But for Cortex, it can work better if you can afford something like T2 large or similar. Okay, and same goes for Elastic SIEM. Okay, so if I want to show you quickly, so I have here my 4 instance up and running that I need for my this VM requirements, and these are the network rules, guys. Okay, which is very important to have your setup. Okay, so you will do the SSH from 22. You need this 443 open for accessing the MISP console from your web browser. 9200 is the Elasticsearch IP address. Okay, so we do not need to access it from the web browser, but you need to do it from the testing for the testing purpose. Okay, so 5601 is our Kibana console, as you can see here. So it is running on 5601 port, which is your Kibana console. 9001 is your accessing the Cortex UI. Okay, so it is running on 9001, right? And you need 9000 IP address, which is the Hive, your case management solution. Okay, so if I go to Hive, it is running on 9000 port. Okay, so these are very interesting and important part, guys. Without this, your your architecture won't work properly. And also you need, like, for the API integration, what I will suggest that whatever the IP address that you are giving or you are getting as part of these 4 instances, you should enable all traffics only limited to the IP address. So if I want to show you quickly, if I go to the security over here, so you see, so I have enabled something like this thing from this particular whole IP address I have enabled. So like the way you need to do it for every IP address that you are getting, and the inbound traffic should be allowed for Cortex, MISP, Hive and Elastic SIEM. You can do it. Okay, so now if you are facing some challenge that your connection is not working properly, for test cases, what I would suggest that you can open everything like 0 to 65565 to everything, but that is a security risk. But anyway, you are doing the test, right? It is not production, so you can do the test. So that is the optimum solution you can take if these network ports or network connection is not working for you guys. Okay, So now next we will go to the go to our installation guide over here. So installation guide, so I have cited everything, every requirement that you need, and believe me, so I have taken full case study on all of these commands, and this is prone to be successful. Okay, so I will go through it quickly one by one. So first, installing Elasticsearch and Kibana. So once you are logged into this particular box, so let me quickly show you this particular thing over here. So this is my Elasticsearch box. Okay, so once you log in quickly to this particular box, what you need to do over here, you need to run these particular commands, which you need to upgrade your machines, by the way. And we are installing the Elasticsearch and this Kibana using a Docker. Okay, so you need to install the Docker Compose and docker.io. Then I have a code, which is the YAML code, which is created by my team, which will help you to run and up your Docker within a minute. Okay, you can anyway see the code over here. So I have given the code over here as well, so you can test it out from here. So you just need to change according to your needs. So these are the usernames for accessing Kibana console, and you do not need to access anyway Elasticsearch, but you can test it over here. You can change this password and username over here. Okay, so once that is done, so what we need to do over here, we just need to run sudo docker compose up. Okay, so once you run this command, it will do all the magic for you automatically, and your Elasticsearch and Kibana will be ready to access. Okay, so once you see the success in your command prompt, so what you need to do here, you need to come quickly, you need to come here to check out what of your IP address for this particular machine, whatever you will call it, and then you need to access 5601 port from your browser. Okay, so once you are accessing, you will see a very blank screen over here. Okay, so I have seen multiple questions and multiple people have asked me that, hey, how can I ingest the data to this security stack? Okay, so you do not need to do anything else for your testing purpose. So you just need to try out some sample data that is coming up by default via Elastic. Okay, so you can try out like e-commerce order, sample flight data, sample weblogs for you. So I have enabled this particular sample weblogs, and whatever I am seeing, this particular discover area is coming from the auto ingestion module of the Elastic. So these logs comes by default. Okay, and also once you have created this particular thing, so this will be a free version, and you need to go to this stack management thing over here. You need to go to here into the license management, and you will see that you will have a trial license over here. Okay, so you just need to enable your the official Elasticsearch license to use all these features like creation of the connectors, creation of the rules, and you get I guess 30 days trial license, but you can extend your trial and all those stuff, so you can keep playing around with it. Okay, but remember, without enabling the license, you cannot access all these rules and connectors, all these stuffs. Okay, so once that is done, your Elasticsearch will be up and running. Once that is done, so we can move to the next installation, and we will see what the exactly thing are going on. Okay, so the next installation is our Hive console. So again, if you want to follow the detailed documentation over here, you can refer this particular thing, the documentation from this link. But installing all the steps, I have given everything from over here, so you can follow along. I just want to show you that the configuration steps that you need to do. Okay, so for doing that, let me quickly log into the box. Okay, so this was my Elastic. So let me quickly kill the shell, close terminal. So I will go to my instances just to grab the IP address of the Hive console. So I have copied it now, and if I go to the, okay, not this one, I need to access my AWS keys as well. So if I do it over here, okay, paste it over here. It will take some time to log in. Yes, I am logged in now. If I do a pwd, yes, I am inside that. And if I want to quickly show you that netstat minus LTPND, just to show you that whatever the connections on which I am listening on. Okay, so this is a Hive console and this is listening on, by default it will be listening on all these ports. Okay, so you need to have a look around it, and 9000 is the port of the Hive console. Okay, so this is another trick to identify whether your service is up and running or not. Okay, so if we go to the installation step, once you complete these installation steps, you need to come here to your this particular Cassandra YAML file, which is the backend database which is works by default. And if I want to quickly show you sudo vi, I just want to quickly show you the YAML file, whatever the modification that you need to do. Anyway, I have mentioned it over here. So now if you see that, so what exactly the things that we need to modify from here, you see cluster name, you need to modify over here. So if I want to quickly show you what is the cluster name. Okay, cluster name, yeah, you see, so you need to mention the cluster name as mentioned in this particular repository. You need to change the listen address, you need to change the RPC address, and you need to change the seed provider. Okay, so if I quickly want to show you that as well, so I have changed it as mentioned in the GitHub repository. So if I quickly change it to the listen address. Okay, so as you see, the listen address over here is the local IP address that I am accessing this particular sucker of, and this is the IP address of the node of the Elasticsearch. Okay, so for doing this, not Elasticsearch, for this particular machine actually. Okay, so if I go to this particular thing, this is my Hive console, right, and I am using this particular IP address over here. So this is my private IP address, and if I quickly show you, these two IP addresses are same. Okay, yes, as you see, so you need to mention this listen IP address from your AWS console, whatever you are listening on. Okay, so if I go to the next section, you will see, you will bind the IP address. So same thing, you need to follow this particular convention over here. So once that is done, so by default every installation is done on this location for the Cassandra. Once Cassandra is up and running, you just need to restart this particular file. So you need to just follow along with these installation steps and you will be done. Okay, so once that is done, so how you can basically verify whether the service is up and running or not. Okay, as I told you, so you just need to quickly jump to the this particular netstat minus LTPND, and also there are like log files available in every of these locations. Okay, so if you want to go to the sudo tail minus f, and if I want to go to var, then logs, then the Hive, and then application.logs. Okay, so you can tail this particular sucker off just to just to identify and just to check whether your machine is listening or not. Okay, so if I will just quickly come out of the shell, but this particular log will give you the exact details whether your service is up and running or not. Okay, so once the Hive console is ready, so once you log into this particular thing, you will see a blank screen over here. You won't see anything in this particular area. So you need to come to this organization section. So again, every steps has been given in my this particular repository, so you can follow along. So I don't want to drag this particular episode too long, otherwise it will be too long. So again, you can come to the organization, you can create some new user, and by default when you log into the Hive console, so you won't be logging it to the this particular user area. Okay, so you will be logged in to this admin@hive.local. Okay, so I have given the passwords to log in over here as well, so you can follow along with that. So you can, if you can come here to this section, so you see this is the IP address that I am accessing now, and this is your user address with the password secret. Okay, so you just need to access it over here, and as you see, once you log into the admin console, you will see that this organization for administration has been created. So this one is created by me. You just need to create a new organization, and once you are created a new organization, you need to create a new user as well. Okay, and also remember one thing, that if you are logged into the Hive console using that default admin credential, you won't be seeing any like cases, anything, any observable, any option to play around. Okay, so you need to log out from the admin console, and then you need to log in back with the this particular user console that we have just created. Okay, so if I just quickly go back to the installation step, so once the Hive console is also ready, so you can follow along with the Cortex, and you can follow along with setting up the analyzer and responder. So Cortex, also one thing is very important, that once you are created the Cortex, you will see this particular thing as a blank screen. Okay, so you won't be seeing anything as like, so we have something like a virus total enabled, right? So you won't see anything over here. So if I quickly log out from this particular area, and if I quickly go to the Black Pearl, so this was my the root user that I have created, and you see there is nothing. Okay, so you, again, as I told you, so Cortex is quite follow the same structure of the Hive. Okay, so you just need to create your organization, and then you need to create your user to log into the box. Okay, and from there you can create anything, that doesn't really matter, but you can do everything after only logging into the box that you will be creating afterwards. Okay, not the admin user, just remember that. Okay, so once you have logged in first time in the Cortex, so you will see this particular default organization. You can create your own organization over here. And so once you are logged into this particular organization, you need to log out, and you need to log in using this particular demo user. That anyway, so you can create anything, that doesn't really matter. Okay, so once that, you need to come to the organization section, and again you need to come to the analyzer section to enable all the responders. Okay, so if you just go to analyzers, you will see all of the analyzers over here. Okay, these are coming up over here. So if you want to open something like abuse IPDB over here, if you want to enable this particular thing off, you will have to follow the same structure. You need a key, and how you can get the key, once you log into the abuse IPDB their portal, you will get a key. Okay, so this is the way. Once you save this particular thing off, you will see in this new analysis section there will be another analyzer coming up. Okay, so if you do a URL, you will see abuse IPDB. So if you have ingested URL void, you will see the same is coming up over here. Okay, so that's the story, everything with Cortex. So once Cortex is done, you can follow along with the MISP, so that I have shown in my previous video, so I'm not going to repeat that over here. So now quickly jump into the last section, how you can basically you do all the integration over here. Okay, so if I quickly go to my Elastic console over here, as I showed you how you can enable the integration between first the Hive and the Elastic SIEM. Okay, so again, if you want to follow along, I have my guidelines over here. You just need to come to this GitHub repository, and you need to go to this index from here, integration guide, and you just need to follow along how the way that I have told everything. Okay, so I'll just quickly go to the Hive and ELK Elastic integration, what exactly the thing you need to do over here. So if I go to Elastic SIEM over here, you need to go to the stack management, and then you need to come to here rules and connectors. Okay, so once you come here to the connector section, you need to create a new connector. Okay, so you click a new connector, and this will be your webhook connector. Since this is a customization connector, you need to create a particular webhook. Okay, and now you can name it. You need to post this particular thing, and you again need to follow these exact steps from the GitHub repository. Okay, so once that is done, and you can tell me that how can I get the key of this Hive console. Okay, so because you need a key from here. Okay, so you can give the exact URL, HTTP header, whatever you need. So now this particular thing is very important to give the key. Okay, so let me quickly show you how you can get the key. If you go to this particular thing, I am logged in as admin, so let me log out from the admin and let me log in as the Black Pearl user. Okay, so demo user is my second user. So if I quickly go here to the organization tab, I will see this is my user. Okay, so what you need to do exactly, you need to create a API key over here. Okay, so if I do a quickly create a new user over here, so API user, API user, so they require email address, so you can write something like hive.local. It doesn't have to be a real one, but you need to give a format of something like that. Okay, API user, and you need to give a read only, or you can give like org admin. So I'll prefer the org admin one to give the full access. And once this is done, so you will see this new user has been created, and you need to create an API key. Okay, yes, create it, and once that is done, you need to reveal that particular thing off. Okay, so you need to copy this particular thing off from here, and you need to come here and you need to paste it over here. Okay, so authentication is not required. So add a HTTP header as I mentioned. So you need to come here to the authorization, bearer, and API key. Okay, so let me quickly mention it over here, and let's mention it over here as like authorization. If I do authorization key over here, and if I go to this thing, and I need to mention bearer, right? Okay, bearer, and it is done. And another field is that you need a content type, and you need an application.json. So key content type, and you need application/json. Yes, so that is done. And URL you also need to fill. So whatever the URL, this is the particular URL. So Hive is running on this particular thing, so you need the URL till this point. Okay, so this is the URL, and up to that you need to mention this particular thing. Okay, API then cases. Okay, so you just need to follow along whatever I have mentioned over here, and you can test it's something like the Hive 2. Okay, something like this. Okay, and I don't need a require authentication, but if you want, you can create it. Okay, so I have saved it now, and if I want to quickly check this particular thing off, I can test it over here as well. So I have given the test command here as well. So I'll quickly copy this particular thing off, and I will okay, so just remember this is a double quote, the invited quote, and without that it won't run. Yes, so I need a comma over here. So yeah, just need the auto case from second connector maybe. Okay, so if I run the command quickly, okay, error callback, invalid response. Okay, so you just need to doesn't matter much, but you need to troubleshoot this command. But this is as simple as that. You just need to run it again, and it will be some really easy. Okay, what I actually did the mistake, if I want to show you, so I haven't saved this particular content type. Okay, so I have entered it, but I haven't added it up. Okay, so if I hope the test should run now. So if I quickly run this connector off, so not this one, so yeah, I'll copy the test cases from here as well. Okay, so as I mentioned, so I just need to quickly do this modification. So don't worry, when you will be seeing the video, I'll be making the changes properly to the GitHub repository, so you don't need to do these changes for your own. Okay, so if I run this particular thing, it should run now. Yeah, you see it is state successful. Now my auto case. Okay, so my auto case, there should be a new case created over here. if I go here, yeah, you see the case number 6 has been created. So this one we have created from the previous test, and this has been created now. So this is as easy as simple, guys. So you just need to follow the steps that I have given, everything in GitHub repository, and you will be done with this awesome setup. Okay, so that's all I have to share for this particular episode, and I hope this is a real business use case for you guys. And if you can follow along with my tutorial, whatever I have shown you, and if you can follow strictly whatever the steps has been mentioned in the GitHub repository, it will be a piece of cake for you guys. Okay, now if you want me to cover the each installation steps individually in any of the videos, or even any of the the integration steps in individually, feel free to post the comment. And if you have any issues, you can open a case in the GitHub repository. I'll be happy to help, and my team will be happy to help you. Okay, and yeah, that's all. And before even leaving, don't forget to subscribe Black Pearl channel so that you can get all the notifications of these super cool videos. And if you have liked the video, I guess you have liked the video, right? Because there are a lot of efforts to prepare this kind of episode, and even like to test this kind of things for you guys. Okay, so I deserve one like. So please like that. And if you want to support my creation, you can buy me a coffee. I'll leave the link in the description box, and I'm not taking anything away from you guys. So whatever I get from you people, that will be fed back to the community in terms of some giveaways, some coupons, and all those stuffs. Okay, so yeah, keep the coffees coming, and stay tuned, stay healthy for the next coming up episode. There will be a super fun. Okay, and advance Merry Christmas.